Today, we're diving into the quirky 2009 film, Symbol, a comedy, fantasy, and mystery all wrapped into one. Brace yourselves, as there will be spoilers ahead. The story follows a Japanese man who wakes up in a stark, windowless room. As he examines the peculiar walls, he discovers a protrusion resembling a male body part. Cautiously, he presses the tip, unleashing a swarm of giggling baby angels from the floor and walls. After their brief appearance, the angels vanish, leaving behind a curious trail, their own anatomical features protruding from the surfaces. The man begins to experiment with the mysterious buttons in the room. Each time he presses one, a random object falls from the walls, everything from a tiny toothbrush to a large vase. Pressing the same button repeatedly gives him the same item, resulting in a growing pile of chopsticks. His amusement soon turns to pain, however, when he presses a different button and a small cart suddenly shoots out from the wall, slamming into his legs. The man's initial curiosity gives way to a growing sense of trepidation as he continues to explore the strange, confining space. The man presses another button, and this time, a bizarre protrusion emerges from the wall, blasting gas directly in his face. Hours pass, and the room has become filled with a hodgepodge of random objects. Feeling hungry, the man throws a ball at the wall, triggering a button that produces a plate of sushi. Excited, he realizes he's missing one crucial accompaniment: soy sauce. He pleads for his captors to provide it, but receives no response. Determined, he repeatedly presses a button until he has a sizable pile of sushi before him, yet still no soy sauce. Giving in to his hunger, the man eagerly devours the sushi, finding it surprisingly delicious. As he finishes the last piece, he presses the button again, only to become increasingly frustrated when a bottle of soy sauce finally appears. Frustrated, the man angrily pushes away the soy sauce bottle. Pressing another button, he is surprised to receive a pair of vintage 3D glasses. Through the lenses, he sees a cherubic figure pointing towards a certain area, and he becomes hopeful that he's found the solution. However, activating that button merely triggers a countdown, followed by a massive, gas-passing posterior descending from above. Hours pass, and the man has immersed himself in several volumes of an entertaining manga. Yet when he tries to retrieve the next installment, he is met with the wrong volume number instead. Growing increasingly exasperated, the man begins frantically pressing other buttons. While this yields more random objects, the elusive sixth volume remains elusive. Just as he's about to give up, the last button he tries opens a hidden door in the wall, revealing a potential escape. Elated by his discovery, the man eagerly begins pressing buttons, hoping to find the one that opens the exit. However, his excitement leads to a flurry of random activations. An African tribesman dashing across the walls, water raining down upon him. Finally, he stumbles upon the correct button, but the door slams shut before he can escape. Undeterred, he tries again, realizing that keeping his member depressed is the key to maintaining the open door. The man experiments with various tactics: a running start, a fly swatter from a distance, even using a jump rope to pull it down. But none of these methods prove successful in keeping the exit accessible. Determined, the man tries pushing a cart onto the button, hoping the weight will keep it depressed. But after several failed attempts, he realizes he can't control the cart's movement. Recognizing he needs a way to consistently hold the button down, the man places a large vase on top of it. However, the button soon pops back up, leading him to conclude the vase needs to be heavier. First, he tries using the water button, but no matter how he redirects the flow, it only ends up soaking him. Undeterred, he fills the vase with sushi, but it becomes too heavy to lift. With the neck too narrow for his hand, he resorts to using chopsticks to carefully remove the sushi pieces one by one. After carefully removing enough sushi, the man is able to lift the vase, cautiously placing it near the buttons. But in his haste, he loses track of which one he needs. Pressing one at random, the tribesman appears, accidentally knocking the vase and shattering it. Enraged, the man frantically covers the button in sushi, but it's no use. Desperate, he tries taping it down, even adding a steel plate, but nothing seems to work. Nursing the pain from the closing door, the man takes a nap and some painkillers. Determined to keep trying, he decides to press a button for water, hoping to clean his teeth. To his surprise, the button he pressed revealed a rope hanging from the ceiling. Excited, the man formulates a new plan. He'll open the door, use the rope to swing across the room, and make it before the exit closes. Sadly, when he tries to open the hidden door, he finds it locked. Barely making it back before the door slams shut, the man kicks the wall in frustration, accidentally activating a button that reveals a key floating in the middle of the room. However, the key disappears when the button deactivates, leaving the man to figure out how to keep both the door open and the key accessible. But first, he must relocate the elusive button. Recalling where his foot landed when he kicked the wall, the man cautiously presses a button, only to be greeted by a barking dog. Undeterred, he tries again, this time successfully activating the key. Keeping a watchful eye on the button, the man grabs a piece of sushi and uses it to mark the spot. But when he presses it again, the dog reappears. Determined, the man has an idea. He'll use the rope to swing and reach the buttons, then employ a plunger he found to push himself farther across the room. With a new strategy in mind, he prepares to make another attempt at securing the key and keeping the door open. After a few tries, the man's plan works. Swinging on the rope and using the plunger, he's able to press the buttons, grab the key, and get to the door before it closes. But when he tries to unlock it, he finds a separate combination lock on top, requiring 3 numbers. Frustrated, he lashes out, throwing the plunger and activating the button that releases the tribesman. As the tribesman walks by, the man notices 3 numbers painted on his forehead, the combination he needs to open the door. With the clock ticking, the man swings on the rope 3 times, entering each number of the combination. On the 3rd try, he manages to open the door, but it's stuck. As he pushes to open it fully, the wall behind him closes, trapping him with no room to maneuver. Devastated, the man sits on the floor, reminiscing about the enjoyment he had with the items he acquired from the buttons. Though confined before, at least he had space and diversions. Now realizing he took that for granted, the man is overcome with regret. To his surprise, the man feels a draft coming from the left wall. Investigating, he discovers a hidden panel that he pushes open, escaping the cramped space. He finds himself in a mysterious pitch-black hallway. After what feels like an eternity of running, he reaches a room, his hair grown longer and pajamas faded. This room is also empty, but when the door closes behind him, adult angels emerge from the walls, their limbs serving as buttons. Unsure of what lies ahead, the man steels himself to continue his strange journey. In a Mexican city, young Antonio's family is concerned about his wrestler father, Escargot Man. His wife worries it's due to facing a younger opponent, but his grandfather argues experience outweighs youth. Escargot Man is driven to the wrestling arena by his daughter, Sister Karen, where he prepares by changing clothes and praying. Meanwhile, at school, Antonio is bullied for betting on his father's match. Back in the mysterious room, this phase is known as practice, as the man continues navigating the strange, unsettling environment. As the match approaches, Sister Karen takes Antonio and their grandfather to the arena in her van. She drops them off, and they find seats just as the show starts. First up are the Northern Tough Ones, Super Demon and Tequila Joe. Then Escargot Man enters with his partner Silver Eagle as Kiss Me a Lot. Silver Eagle starts strong, but is soon overwhelmed when the opposing team gangs up on him. The Northern Tough Guys continue their assault, gesturing for Escargot Man to join. But Silver Eagle tricks the opponents into hitting each other, allowing him to break free. When Escargot Man is overpowered, the man in the mysterious room presses a button, causing Escargot Man's neck to extend and knock out both foes. Unsatisfied, the man tries different buttons, with one summoning a metal singer to breathe fire on his audience in LA. The man experiments with the buttons, causing disruptions across the globe. A Russian magician's trick fails. A man in China makes his dogs bark. Seeing light from above, he decides to use the buttons as handholds to climb the walls. Each button press triggers an extraordinary event on Earth, from natural phenomena to human achievements. The higher he climbs, the more complex the effects become, encompassing both the subtle and the monumental. Having climbed to the top, the man finds he can now float like the angels. Drawing on his experiences, he embraces his newfound role as a god, purposefully orchestrating humanity's greatest achievements. Surrounded by feathers, he enters a glowing portal into the final room. Its walls bear the world's continents, and a massive member button dominates the center, the start of the future phase.
Hello.